Hello. This movie is an intro to parallel proofs in Unit 3. So you'll find this page on page 9.5 of your guided notes. I would like you to turn to page 9.5. You'll see it at the bottom. And fill this out as we work on it together. Then after this movie, you will complete proof practice in your homework packet. So our first problem up here is given that 1 and 3 are supplementary to 8, or 1 is supplementary to 8. And we want to prove A parallel to B. So in this case, you have to keep in mind that the lines are not parallel right now. We have to prove them parallel. So what we will need to do is establish some sort of relationship like corresponding angles congruent. Then we can say lines parallel. Or establish alternate exterior congruent. So therefore lines are parallel. Or same side interior supplementary. Therefore lines are parallel. Because we're working backwards to prove lines parallel. So 1 and 8 supplementary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this on the diagram. Not with the same arc, but with different arcs. Because they are not congruent, they are supplementary. Then I'm going to put that 1 is congruent to 3. This is the second statement. 1 is congruent to 3. Our reasoning is because they are vertical angles. And vertical angles are congruent. Now, what allows me to say 6 is congruent to 8? Well, 6 and 8 are also vertical angles. So vertical angles congruent. Now, what allows me to say 3 and 6 are supplementary? Well, you can see here that we've established 1 and 8. Now 3 I replaced with 1. So this I replaced with 3. And then I replaced 8 with 6, which I've also established as being congruent. So what I've done is I've replaced line 1 with equivalent values from 2 and 3. So that would be substitution. Now 3 and 6, now I've established that those are supplementary. I can see with my own eyes that 3 and 6 are same side interior. So we could put one of two things here. We could put by the converse of the same side interior, same side interior angles theorem, or we could put if same side interior angles supplementary, then lines parallel, which is what the converse of the same side interior angles theorem says. If same side interior angles supplementary, then lines parallel. So in this proof up here, we had to prove lines parallel. In our next proof down here, we're going to be given lines parallel. So when you're given lines parallel, you can say all those things like alternate interior congruent, alternate exterior congruent, same side interior supplementary, because lines were given as parallel. So let's look at this. A parallel to B. I'm going to mark that in the diagram. What allows me to say 1 is congruent to 3? Well, I know 1 and 3 are corresponding, and I can say that they are congruent because lines are parallel. So I'm going to put here corresponding angles congruent since lines parallel. So I got 1 congruent to 3. What allows me to say 3 congruent to 5? Well, 3 and 5 are vertical, so this is vertical angles congruent. Now, what allows me to say 1 congruent to 5? If you're looking at this and you're wanting to say, oh, 1 and 5 are alternate exterior angles, lines are parallel, I'm going to put alternate exterior angles, pause. Because look at what you're trying to prove. the alternate exterior angles theorem. So you're not allowed to use what it is you're trying to prove. So instead we need to get there another way. So if you look at this, 1 is congruent to 3, 3 is congruent to 5, so 1 congruent to 5 by transitive or substitution. And that's how you would prove alternate exterior angles theorem. That's it for the intro to parallel proofs. Now you'll work on your homework packet dealing with parallel proofs.